Pakistan 45 times behind. Why did it lose so badly to India? Both countries got independence on the same day. They shared a similar legacy. But today, one nation stands as the world's fifth largest economy, while the other begs to display foreign currency reserves. One has $688 billion in reserves, and the other barely $15 billion. This gap isn't the result of a single decision, but of decades of mindset, policy, and intent. Why is Pakistan 45 times behind India today? The answer will surprise you. Today, we will explore this topic in depth. But before that, if you are new to our channel, don't forget to subscribe so you never miss our latest videos. Let's dive right in. In 1947, India and Pakistan parted ways. Both began their journey of development with similar shattered economies inherited from the British. Limited resources, broken systems, and social-political instability, that was their starting point. But the paths they chose were very different. India embraced democracy, while Pakistan repeatedly fell into the trap of military rule. And this divergence became more and more evident in their economic health over the decades. For India, 1991 was a turning point. At that time, the country's foreign currency reserves had dwindled to just $2 billion, not even enough to support 3 weeks of imports. But this crisis became the foundation for massive reform. India adopted the path of liberalization, privatization, and globalization, LPG. Trade barriers were removed, foreign investments were welcomed, and the rupee was devalued to reflect its true market value. These weren't easy decisions, but they gave India a new direction. After that, India's economy picked up pace. The IT and service sectors grew rapidly, and Indian companies began to make a mark in global markets. By 2008, India's foreign currency reserves had crossed $300 billion. Then came the 2008 global financial crisis, and later the COVID pandemic in 2020, yet India's economy showed resilience and bounced back. By 2025, these reserves hit a record $688 billion, roughly 58 lakh crore rupees. Now, if we talk about Pakistan, the picture is completely opposite. Back in the 1960s, its economy was actually considered better than India's. But after that, a series of government collapses, military coups, terrorism, internal instability, and inconsistent economic policies weakened the nation's foundation. Instead of focusing on economic growth, Pakistan obsessed over security strategies. It became excessively dependent on first the US and then China. As a result, it never truly began the journey toward self-reliance. Pakistan's foreign currency reserves are currently just $15 billion. And even from this, a large portion is either borrowed or tied with strict conditions. This amount is merely 2.1% of India's reserves. In fact, there were times when Pakistan's reserves dropped below $4 billion, putting the country on the verge of bankruptcy. It kept itself afloat through loans from the IMF, China, and Saudi Arabia, but never moved towards any permanent solution. Now let's look at how this difference emerged. India prioritized long-term planning in its economic decisions. Whether it's the service sector, manufacturing, startups, agriculture, or technology, reforms were implemented across the board. India's economic policies continued to inspire trust among businesses and investors. On the other hand, Pakistan repeatedly used foreign loans as shortcuts, but never drew any sustainable benefit from them. Pakistan's exports remain extremely limited, mostly low-cost textiles, rice, and some fruits. Meanwhile, India exports everything from textiles to technology, pharmaceuticals, gems and jewelry, steel, petroleum, and even satellites. Not only that, India today is one of the world's major startup hubs, whereas Pakistan is still pleading on global platforms even for basic investments. The economic reforms that India began in 1991, Pakistan never even initiated such steps. Instead, its national policies continued to be dictated by relief packages from the IMF. As soon as a loan was exhausted, a new crisis would emerge. This pattern has been ongoing since the 1980s. Pakistan has gone to the IMF more than 20 times. Pakistan's foreign policy has also isolated it globally. While India has today become a multidimensional trade partner with the US, Japan, the European Union, and Gulf nations, Pakistan's entire strategy remained limited to relying on China. Projects like the CPEC, China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, were touted as the path to development, but today they are mired in heavy debt and controversies. India focused on strengthening domestic demand, while Pakistan never empowered its local industries. Even today, Pakistan depends on imports for essential goods like oil, medicines, and machinery, but it lacks sufficient dollars to pay for them. As a result, inflation rises, the rupee depreciates, and foreign investors pull out. Additionally, geopolitical decisions have widened this gap further. India has solidified its global standing, whether through its G20 presidency or active participation in BRICS, SCO, and the Quad. Meanwhile, Pakistan remained entangled in terrorism issues, FATF's grey list, and a vicious cycle of debt. So now the situation is that India is capable of maintaining its growth rate even during a global recession, while Pakistan needs loans just to meet its daily expenses. Even after agreeing to IMF's conditions, Pakistan gets less relief and more inflation. The public there struggles daily with expensive food, fuel, and medicine, and the government has no long-term solution. The question arises, can Pakistan now bridge this economic gap? The answer is not easy. It would require not just economic but also political, social, and strategic transformation. Pakistan must ensure democratic stability, distance itself from terrorism, and regain the trust of global investors. Otherwise, even if foreign currency reserves appear to be 15 billion on paper, in reality, the country will lack any true strength. On the other hand, India is now on the path to becoming a $5 trillion economy. Digital India, Make in India, the PLI scheme, the EV mission, and the space program all indicate that India is moving forward not just with numbers, but with planning and policy. It is said that the nation's economy is shaped by both intent and policy. India has proven this to be true, and Pakistan has become a living example of how a country can falter without strategy and stability.
If our video has taught you something new, do not forget to like and share this video so that this information can reach others as well. Your likes and shares are a source of inspiration for us. If you have any questions or suggestions, please let us know in the comments. It will be our honor to answer your questions and listen to suggestions. And yes, if you like our content, subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon so that you stay connected with every new story. Thank you. GRT Business YouTube channel sources, news from various news agencies, opinion polls, and other public sources. We try to ensure that every report and summary is accurate and verified, but we are not responsible for any dispute or error. Our aim is only to provide you with accurate information.